Hi, everybody. I'm Brittany Kuhlman, and this is my presentation for the fiscal responsibilities of school principals, that's school level governance. So, first, a little bit about me. We'll start with my education. I got my bachelor's degree from the University of Kansas, and that is in athletic training. I am one of the athletic trainers for our district, so it's kind of cool that I get to use both of my degrees. Following graduation, I accepted a graduate assistant position at the University of Central Missouri, and I worked as an athletic trainer for their volleyball and track and field teams and got my Master's of Art in Teaching with Alternative Teaching Certificate. And then currently, I'm working towards my principal endorsement through Fort Hays. With my teaching career, I started out at Kenneth Henderson Middle School. I taught 8th grade science. It was kind of fun because I went to Kenneth Henderson, Matowny. I came back to where I grew up. I decided I kind of wanted to be back into health related subject areas, so I transferred up to Garden City High School, where I now teach body systems and sports medicine. So here's some pictures that describe my life. So the top left is just a finger dislocation. We see these pretty often during football season. Finger will get caught on a jersey or something and it'll dislocate. The bottom left is our athletic training students. So Maddie, she's to the right of me in the picture. She's the other district athletic trainer. We've built up a program of students who come out and learn how to tape injuries, do basic wound care. And then they also really help us with hydration and stuff during practice. It's really fun. In the middle is my boyfriend, Ryan. We just bought a house in Lakin in March. So now I'm getting to commute to work, and that's great. It's about a 30-minute drive from Lakin to Garden City. So my time management is at an all-time high this semester with commuting and football practice and now taking classes. We're getting ready to do a bunch of remodeling. We have fencing, we have cabinets coming, countertops and flooring coming. So lots of projects coming. We have 3 dogs together. The first one is Jax. He's a yellow lab and he's crazy, just absolute nutcase. He had throat surgery last year around spring break, and well, I guess it was this year. We haven't switched years yet. So during spring break, he had a throat surgery. He had an abscess in his throat, and they had to cut it open. And then in the summer, he had ACL surgery, and that was a chore, keeping him from trying to play. Dag is our black lab. He's the golden boy. I mean, never hurt, never in trouble. Just wants his belly rubbed. That's about it. And then our little princess, Miss Blair, she's the rat terrier. She gets whatever she wants. She lets the boys let her run the house. And then, like I said, I teach at Garden City High School, so we are a 9 through 12 building, about 2,200 students, and we're academy based. We have the freshman academy where the freshmen are just kind of like off in their own land. They don't really get out of there very much. And then there's the Public Service Academy where these are students who are interested in serving the public, such as being a teacher, a lawyer, a police officer, those types of careers, marketing. And then I'm in the Arts and Communications Academy. We have classes that are theater, sculpting, fashion, interior design. And then there's also the Trade and Health Academy where we have anything from zoology, anatomy and physiology, all the way to like meats judging and welding. All right, so for the fiscal responsibilities of principals, we're going to start with this level of governance for schools. So 48% of our funding comes from the state level, and that's coming from our income taxes or our sales tax. 44% of that funding is going to come from our local property taxes within our county or our city. And then the last 8% is going to come from the federal government. For student and adult success, a study showed that a 20% increase in spending per student in K through 12 over their education years resulted in 25% higher earnings for that student after their graduation. An increased budget could mean more qualified staff within the building as well as a smaller classroom size. So it's not only benefiting our students by being in a smaller classroom, but it's also benefiting our teachers and giving them more power and less of a load. And then also, our schools can hold fundraisers or partner with local businesses to provide resources for our students and also that extra manpower. Our data informed decisions, so our budget should address time periods in which we have goals and when they should be met. We have a type of budget called a decentralized budgeting. It gives the empowerment to budget owners within the school to make informed decisions based on data to promote student achievement. So they could be looking at reading scores, and then they're looking at it and they say, hey, this program is going to boost our reading scores and it should be done by December. And so they could buy that software and then assess their data. Equitable resources. So investments in students is an investment in our future. These students are going to be, adults and being in adult jobs and taking care of us someday. 21% increase in per student funding is large enough to close that achievement gap in the lower income areas. An increase in money, again, equals a smaller class size. It helps with instructional supports. With there being a smaller class size, we might not have as many special education students per para or CWC teacher. We could also offer more early childhood education, and then that also will increase our graduation rates. And then there's also student-based budgeting, and that dollar is going to follow a student based on that student's need. Finance, laws, policies, and regulations. So federal money is flexible. However, districts must use 20% of that federal money to address impacts of lost learning. And that came from the COVID time with us being out of school for about, 3 or 4 months. School districts can always refuse federal funding if they're not wanting to participate in federal programs. But then again, they're losing that 8% of their budget for that year. And then the American Rescue Plan gave $122 billion in direct funding to help schools reopen safely, as well as make sure that those students are in in-person instruction, not remote. And that included helping with academic challenges as well as mental health challenges. And then there's my references. And then for my reflection, I learned that many schools, their financials are dictated by the school board. My district is the same way. However, I can understand how if a principal was in charge of part of the budget, those funds would go to more student-centered areas to help promote the needs of each student. As a future leader of a school, I believe that I would advocate for some control over the budget of my school, or at least be a part of the budget meeting so that way I can advocate for my staff and my students and advocate what they would best serve them. I feel that being in charge of an entire budget is a lot to put on a principal on top of their other responsibilities. And I think that I would want some financial training or the school board giving the administrators partial control over the budget would be best to serve our students. And that's it.